Hey, hello, Ironhide. Hello, friends. My name is Chocho, and I have not been on YouTube for a while, so I thought today we could kill a few birds with one stone and take a look at some of the custom work I've been doing. With Metalhawk, all I've done is simply made him some weapons that are more pretenders based. You know, like the weapons that came with him weren't too cool. There's no paint on him, just mods, and I got rid of that trigger happy stuff that he had going on there. Let's see what he looks like in alt mode. And there is Metalhawk in his alt mode. First thing I'll say is you guys should check these out. These little stands are like $2 on eBay. Pick some up. They actually work really well. All three of these guys have been painted live on Transformers and Such. It's a Facebook group. You guys should check it out. If you want to know how I did things, check it out. Let's take a look first at our little friend here. Cogman basically was like the quickest paint job. All I wanted to do was make him even. Everyone knows that they put a wash on him and then they just quit. They just said, oh, fuck it. I didn't change anything in the alt mode at all. But all I did was throw a quick wash on the thighs and forearms and hands. And just throwed it out, a little bit of a wash on the sword to give it a little flavor too. For the head sculpt, or the headmaster, I actually painted him up too. Let's see if we can get a look at him up close. Give him some little blue eyes and some gold accents and a wash throughout. I think it turned out pretty cool. What else did we do? We did Jazz. Jazz, you might be thinking, what the fuck's up with that thing in his hand? I'll explain more in a second. This is part of the primed Jazz. The main things I did for bot mode was I wanted to give him some baby blue on his waist, which he's pretty much had in almost every incarnation since G1. That baby blue that matches his visor, and black hands. I wouldn't be that hard on black hands, even though he always had black hands. But with that white panel back there, I think that really makes him pop. The main reason that you have this ridiculous piece here, and again, I did this fully on a live custom, is I got the Soulless Jazz card, which says forges the universe's most epic speakers. So I wanted to make the most epic fucking speaker possible. So we painted up a little speaker box here with a speaker extension, gave it all metallic paints and a dark wash. And what the fuck is that? I had to throw a flame on top because nothing is epic without a goddamn flame. Am I right? Looks pretty cool. It was a fun little piece of work, and it was simply based on that silly card. And sometimes customizing, that's the whole point, man, is to have some fun. I'll put them in alt mode, show you what I did in alt mode. So here's Jazz in his alt mode. The main things I did was that a lot of people complained that the paint basically stopped back there, right? So I continued a little stripe there and added some silver accents up top to the engine bits. But I felt that the lack of paint here was valid. I didn't think that striping here would really add that much, so all I did was add, you know, some silver rims, which is always nice, and some tail lights, and then I did a little wash for the back here in a baby blue, and then I add striping that's matching this striping, so I used some reds, baby blues, and dark blues on the back just to kind of finish him off. I think he looks great. And storage for the epic speaker box. He's still there. Let me, if you're gonna comment, let me know what you think about that gun. It's fucking ridiculous and lovely, in my opinion, at the same time. Please let me know. And last but certainly not least, here's my boy, Ironhide. Ironhide is a custom I did for Mike. We just talked about it and we figured that in the movie his alt mode was super clean and then his bot mode was kind of dirty. So he said, you know what, dirty up beat up the robot mode, and we'll keep the alt mode clean. Now, I murdered out the alt mode, which I'll show you in a bit, but let's talk about the bot mode. This whole head was painted on the Transformers and such group, so I did that completely live. Obviously, I cut off that little face guard. He does talk. His gimmicks are working. Because I really liked the fact that you could see some of the wires on Ironhide. Like, you could see some of the wires through the neck. And I guess I haven't shown this yet, but you can see some of the wires inside that little chest gimmick, which, yeah, works about as poorly on the KO as it did on the original. Because I liked seeing some of those wires, I painted up some of the wires throughout the bot. There we go. Don't forget he has ankle tilt, right? I painted up some of the little gun things with touches of red, blue, and gold. There's some on this side of the weapon too. The robot mode, the main physical changes, and I'm talking physical changes. I don't want to, you know, talk about paint for too long, but I put a bullet hole or a blaster hole right there. I gave him a cosmic rust hip. This is a physical paint app. Let me get that focused if I can. So that's physical. You see that? So what I did there was put on pretty heavy gloss coat, and before it could even think about drying, I blasted it with that that air stuff you use to clean your keyboards. Yeah, I don't know if you know what I'm talking about, but that shit's cold, and because that shit's cold, you blast it and it cracks, and you get that texture. And then it was painted after with a rust type paint. The only other physical touch was putting a gash in his knee there. Here's the unpainted, untouched. His neck broke when I was disassembling this guy. I had fingers lost on him. He was a lot of work. There's a finger that's missing there. It was a lot of work. So basically this version is me taking the best of these two guys and making a proper custom. I basically took the best fingers, the best joints, the best heads that didn't break at the neck, everything I could to make this possible. The last thing I do want to say about this mode is that even though this weapon is supposed to come out, it was originally designed to work with your Dark of the Moon, you know, fixed hands. These have articulated hands, and don't get me wrong, they put a 5mm post, but the post on this weapon is quite short. There's no way that that's going to hold in because of his thumb. So I'll say this to Mike when you get it. If you try to do this, it's just a balancing act. There's absolutely no point. I would leave that weapon where it is and just use it as a leg cannon, because there's no way his hand's going to hold it. I even tried to undersling it, and it just doesn't work out. Plus, it looked wimpy as hell anyways, right? So, no big deal. Let's get him in alt mode and see how he looks. By the way, the thumbs go behind the hand for transformation. That's the best way to keep things safe. And there is Ironhide in his murdered out mode. Keep a soft cloth around to take care of fingerprints. You're probably going to see fingerprints all over this thing as I go through. Maybe not, because it's black. But basically, the inside of the windows were painted black. That gives a little more illusion of actual tinted windows. All the planning in the world cannot save you from little mistakes. There's a part of his arm that I didn't realize was the back, and so it's in flat black with some dry brushing on it. So I'm gonna have to gloss that up. That'll just take me another year or so to finish. No big deal, right guys? A lot of the accessories and trim were painted with a graphite metallic black, so that they look like someone was, you know, put on those custom blacked out parts. All the smokestacks, everything is gloss blacked. I use that graphite metallic on the GMC and around the trim of that grill. Flat black on the road armor, like I said. There's graphite metallic on the rims. It'll be hard to tell, but that rim is, the outside rim is graphite metallic and the inner rim is graphite metallic. And then it's glossed out tires, everything. Murdered out. I think he looks like $1 million. Let's compare him, just for example. Here's the Ironhide. You can see his fists through there. He's got some silver and shit. I guess that's okay. You know, I guess that's okay. You can see all the blue bits underneath. I must say that I believe I tested for this. This doesn't seem to be closing that well. I might check that out, but then again, this one doesn't either. I don't know. That might just be the way it's going to be. If I know Mike, he's going to leave this in bot mode anyway, so I'm not too worried about that bit. I guess I could look for modifications. Let me know what you think about what I've done. If you like it, what you would change, just some little feedback, guys. I love the feedback. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you soon. And last but certainly...